In 1638, Emperor Shah Jahan decided to shift his capital from Agra to Delhi, and his search concluded right here at the western banks of River Yamuna. The Red Fort Palace was built as the heart of his newly planned city of Shah Jahanabad. The construction of the citadel started in the month of April in 1639 and was completed within 9 years on 18th April 1648 at a cost of rupees 1 crore. Master architects Ahmad and Hamid planned this fort over an area of 124 acres surrounded by River Yamuna in the east and a moat 23-meter wide and 9-meter deep on remaining sides. Its 2.4-kilometer long imposing red sandstone ramparts concealed a world of enchantment, a city within a city. Protected and conserved by the Archaeological Survey of India, this complex was declared as a World Heritage Site by UNESCO in 2007 and listed as one of the 25 Adarsh Smaraks of India. As we enter the fort, the Lahori Gate welcomes us, perhaps the most significant of the 5 gateways of the fort. Topped with beautiful white domes and sandstone arches, it was originally built as a ceremonial gateway leading towards Lahore. These barbicans were added later by Emperor Aurangzeb to protect the fort from any direct foreign invasion. It was from here that the first Prime Minister of independent India unfurled the tricolour, and the same tradition is proudly followed till date. A similar Delhi gate leading towards Old Delhi was believed to be used by Shah Jahan for his Friday prayers at the Jami Mosque. A third gateway on the north leads to an older Salimgarh fort, and the Khizri gate was used by the emperor to reach Yamuna. Beyond the iconic Lahori Gate lies the Chatta Chowk, also known as Meena Bazar. Built on the concept of Persian bazaars, these shops used to sell exquisite items from across the world to showcase the wealth of the empire. And today, the handicrafts and jewelry shops serve to lure the tourists as they walk towards the Nakkar Khana. Nakkar Khana was used to formally announce the arrival of the emperor and other dignitaries in the fort. Music was played 5 times a day from its galleries. Built out of red sandstone, the 3-storied building has carved floral designs on its facade. The striking Diwan-e-Aam, the hall of public audience, was the place where Emperor used to hear the complaints and requests of his public. Initially covered with lime plaster and gilded stucco work, the 9 engraved arches make the facade of the Diwan-e-Aam grand and imposing. In the center stands an impressive marble canopy with a marble dais at its base as Prime Minister's seat. The canopy was known as Nashe-Mane Zille-Ilahi, the seat of the shadow of God. The wall behind the Emperor's canopy has one of the finest inlay works in pietra dura by European jeweller Austin de Bordeaux, with the figure of Greek god Orpheus along with varieties of birds and animals. The astounding Diwan-e-Khas was the Emperor's private audience hall. It was the original home of the famed peacock throne or Takhte-Tawus containing the famous Kohinoor diamond, which was later stolen by Nadir Shah in 1739. Made entirely of white marble, it showcases some of the most astonishing pietra dura work. The embellishments on the ceiling, initially made of silver and inlaid with gold, were melted and looted. The current painted wooden ceiling was installed in 1911. For Emperor Shah Jahan, this was his earthly paradise. Here inscribed are the words by the famous Persian poet Amir Khusro. Agar firdaus bar ruye zameen ast, hameen ast, hameen ast, hameen ast. Meaning, if there be paradise on earth, it is here, it is here, it is here. Located next to the Diwan-e-Khas is the Emperor's private palace, the graceful Khas Mahal. Strategically divided into three parts: Tasbih Khana, the private worship chamber; Khwabgah, the sleeping chamber; and Baitak, used by the emperor to relax and connect to the Zinana. Adorning the motif of scale of justice, a brilliantly carved marble screen separates the Khwabgah from outside. Adjoining the Khwabgah is the octagonal tower known as Musamman Burj, a domed structure with marble screens and a balcony in the center, added later by Emperor Akbar Shah II. The Burj was used for the traditional practice of the public appearance of the emperor. In 1911, during the coronation darbar, King George V and Queen Mary too appeared from the balcony of the Burj. First in the row of Zinan Khana is the Rang Mahal, or the Palace of Colors. It was used by the emperor and the royal family for entertainment purposes. The Rang Mahal is divided by a marble water channel with an exquisite basin and ivory fountain carved in the form of a bloomy lotus. The Rang Mahal has two vaulted chambers known as Sheesh Mahal, which were once ornamented with cut mirrors rooted in the walls and the ceiling. The Mumtaz Mahal is the southernmost of the remaining palaces in the Zinana. It was one of the apartments of the royal princesses, which is now used as a museum. To the north of Diwan-e-Khas is the Hammam, the extravagant royal bath houses for the emperor and the royal family. The extensive pietra dura work on the floor, along with exquisitely carved basins, when combined with flowing water, could have created magical effects. To the west of Hammam lies the picturesque Moti Masjid. It was built by Emperor Aurangzeb for his personal use. Made out of polished white marble and beautiful carvings, the Moti Masjid gleams in bright sunlight like a pearl. As we go to the north of Moti Masjid, the Hayat Bakhsh Garden awaits us. Based on the concept of paradise gardens, this charbagh is divided into squares with pathways and water channels running through it. The garden has several pavilions named Sawan, Bhado, and Hira Mahal. While Zafar Mahal, built by Bahadur Shah Zafar, stands broad in the center of the garden inside a large tank, once completely filled with water from Nahar-e-Bahisht, or the stream of paradise. Brought from the Yamuna through Shah Burj, it flowed through the palaces and the gardens with a series of water channels fountains and cascades. The stream was the reason that made this palace a paradise on earth. A stepwell built out of finely cut Delhi quartzite stone lies to the west of the gardens. It was believed to be built before the Red Fort as a part of the older Salimgarh fort. Besides the architectural heritage, there are 3 museums within the Red Fort complex and one at Salimgarh Fort. Indian War Memorial Museum was set up in Naubat Khana in 1919 to showcase various artilleries used during First World War. The Archaeological Museum in Mumtaz Mahal was set up in 1909 to display the collection of Mughal period. While Swadhinta Sangram Sangralaya, set up in 1995, shows glimpses of the Indian national freedom movement. A Swatantrata Senani Smarak is located in the Salimgarh Fort to commemorate heroes of the Indian National Army. Apart from this, the story of Red Fort is being played out every evening in the form of a sound and light show in English and Hindi languages. Once called as the Qila-e-Mubarak, the fortunate citadel, it was anything but fortunate for the Mughals. Looted and attacked many a times, it was finally taken by the British in 1857. Most of the buildings inside the citadel were destroyed and many barracks were erected to its beautiful gardens. In 1947, Indian Army occupied the fort and made several additions and alterations to it. But in 2003, most of the area of the fort was handed over to the Archaeological Survey of India, who have been working tirelessly to conserve and protect its original significance. Recently, the remains of Mehtab Bagh were found in the excavations carried out by the ASI. E-rickshaw services has also been started to make the commute from parking to the entry of the fort easier for tourists. What remains of Red Fort today is only a glimpse of it, 1/4 of its true character. The beauty of the fort has been lost to time and history, but it still stands tall, telling compelling tales of its glory days, and is still considered as a